Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/ASYM for the top 10 stocks to buy right now. Verizon reported second quarter 2023 earnings on Tuesday, and I thought the results overall were pretty good. The company's making progress in increasing its cash flow, both from the operating business and then free cash flow because capital expenditures are coming down. But there were three red flags that I do want to highlight for investors that are worth keeping an eye on long term. My name is Travis Hoyam. Thanks for watching Asymmetric Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content and check out my newsletter, Asymmetric Investing. Got a link to that in the show notes. And I want to start with the consumer trends at Verizon. The two pieces I want to highlight here are the consumer wireless retail postpaid phone net additions. It's a lot of words, but the story here is this is kind of regular billed monthly subscriptions for wireless services. And you can see that for the fourth quarter out of the last five, Verizon lost customers. So not really a trend that we like to see as investors. You'd like to see this going up. On the prepaid side, which is typically a little bit lower margin, the decline is even more stark. 304,000 customers lost in the quarter. Now, overall wireless revenue was up, margins were up, but this is worth noting is the trend from a consumer standpoint is not heading in the right direction. If we look at some of the operating metrics, we can see why. And this is the second thing that I want to bring up. Churn is rising. Churn is basically how many people cancel their subscription every month. And for Verizon, the churn rate in the last 3 months has increased to 0.95% from a year earlier was at 0.93%. On a 6-month basis, 1% versus 0.94% a year ago. You see similar trends across the spectrum. Wireless retail prepaid is the one that has increased the most. I'll just show these 6-month numbers here. Now 4.28% up from 3.79%. So across the board, churn or cancellations are starting to go up at Verizon. Not exactly the trend that you'd like to see, and at least gives us an indication why some of the net consumer numbers are starting to decline. The other thing I want to highlight is the Fios video business. This is the fiber optics business serving video, basically a cable company. This is still a business that has 3 million subscribers, so a really significant business for Verizon, despite the fact that it's maybe not where you would think of the company having a lot of customers. But in the last year, the number of customers has declined 9.3% to that 3.09 million number. That is about offset by the fixed wireless growth. So there is some offsetting figures here, but it's worth noting that the video business, this is happening across the board, is starting to be in pretty significant decline for Verizon. In fact, it's getting so small that maybe it makes sense to sell that or spin it off, maybe even shut it down eventually. 3 million customers, just not all that meaningful for a company that has hundreds of millions of customers in the wireless business. Now, there are a lot of trends going on at Verizon. We're starting to see more customers in broadband. Margins are starting to go up as wireless revenue rises. But I think these three things are worth keeping in mind. You want to have a strong consumer business. That's something that Verizon doesn't seem to have right now. So losing customers in that side of the business is not a great sign. Churn is something that is always a concern for these subscription, high capital businesses, and churn is rising. So again, not a great sign. And the video business just seems to be in a long state of decline. It'll be interesting to see what Verizon does with that. So if you're a Verizon shareholder, I think these are at least worth keeping in mind. They're not a reason that I'm going to sell my shares, but it is a reason to at least have your guard up with this stock. So what did you think of the results? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Asymmetric Investing. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you here next time.